Well, welcome back to Krown's Crypto Cave, another secretive Twitch live stream, but this is going to be posted on YouTube, of course, as well. We still love YouTube, no doubt about that. Picture looks sharp, looks clean, love it, absolutely love it. Reading the comments right now. There you go. Yeah, I did fix the mic up a little bit. I've actually played around a lot with the compression levels, so if you notice anything different, please do let me know. If you like it, tell me if you don't like it, also tell me, and make sure that you dislike the video and leave a very mean comment as well. That's always good for you. It's good for the health. And with all of that said, I want to follow up from this morning's video. Man, Bitcoin price action moving extremely fast, and I've certainly gotten a couple things wrong the last 24 hours. Not very good on my own behalf. Quite embarrassing to be quite honest as well. Anyways, with that said, let's get into the charts right now. Do a little bit of redemption, and with all of that said, as always, wish you the best and the happiest of the happiest. Let's hit the live scene and teleport in. Baby, beam me up, and there she is. Bitcoin on the daily, and as you can see right here, Bitcoin just fucking shooting through. So yesterday when we were doing this video, at the same time yesterday, kind of like an hour before the daily doodle closed, we said, hey, if the daily doodle closes below the yellow 20 exponential moving average, I'd be looking for a move to the 50 exponential moving average, basically down around about 10.4. We've actually overshot that. So today's closure is going to be pretty damn important. If Bitcoin is going to stop the bleeding, I want to see today's daily actually close back above the 50 right here. Other than that, it would be more of a bearish posturing, closing anywhere below the 50 today. Not a death sentence or anything like that. It's really actually going to, this is one of the few times where I'd say the lower time frames are actually going to take a lot more precedence than the higher time frames, just because the higher time frames are more or less sideways still. At the end of the day, even though Bitcoin is kind of having about a $1,500 sell-off right now from the last few days, it's still operating in an overall range as far as the macro goes. Nothing's really changed there. As long as Bitcoin's below about 13,000 and above about 9,500, nothing major has changed from like the overall structure. But of course, trading can, there's been plenty of trading ideas, plenty of opportunity for trades on the lower time frames. So that's why I'm saying that this is one of the few times where I'd say that lower time frames really going to take precedence here, really going to take over for the general command of these charts. But as you can see right now, Bitcoin in a little bit of a precarious place, even on the daily. But a few things really kind of stand out to me. Then the first one is just kind of confirm this as one massive consolidation. We see nice orderly drop off in volume going from left to right on over here. We see a nice orderly formation right here. Whether you call this a flag, whether you call this whether you call this variation of some sort of a wedge, either which way that you kind of paint it does add up with that. And then more importantly, we do see historical volatility percentile, agreeing with this fact. We see historical volatility percentile still kind of trending to the downside here, well below the moving average ever since we kind of put in the high during late July. And so that confirms this, as a whole on the higher time frames, still in consolidation mode. We haven't really seen any, major changes in behavior here from the macro. So as long as we don't have that, it's still okay as a trader to still be long-term, macro-term biased to the long side. But lower time frames, obviously, they've been switching around. And of course, the big trade idea that I was waiting for the past really 2 weeks based off the 4 hour was completely nullified. So when that happens, it's just on to the next one, essentially. And looking at price action right here, going on to the 4 hour, speaking of, you can see that Jesus Christ, man, we barely even stopped at the 200 simple. I mean, Jesus, that is so fucking ugly the way that looks. And then closing this last massive girthy red dildo below the blue 3/7 exponential average. I mean, pretty bad setup right on over here, but I'm gonna try to squint my eyes and come up with some for the bulls here. But looking at this, we do see that lower time frames are starting to actually lose momentum here. We do see 4 hour Stokes looking like they want to kind of cross the upside. They haven't crossed the upside just yet though, so it's still unconfirmed. And same thing with the 3 hour. I think the 3 hour is it's hinting at cross the upside, but it's not confirmed. And as you've seen before, before these things are confirmed, you really don't want to be front running these sorts of bullshits, because holy fuck, there's another $400 move to the downside going to certainly destroy you. So of course, as always, waiting for confirmation on these guys going to be absolutely key. Do we see them lining up? Yes. Has it happened yet? No. So it's still a little bit more of a waiting game, but I do believe that we see it happen relatively soon from this region. Here's your 2 hour Stokes headed up, and I believe hourly are up as well. Yep, and actually looking okay right there. We have bullish divergence all the way up to, I believe, a 2 hour. I don't think that there's any bullish divergence on a 3 hour. Let's go. Actually, there might be. Yes, there is. There's a little bit of, let's confirm this as a local low first. Have we confirmed it? Yes, we have. Okay, we have traded above the high of the last 3 hour dildo. So I would say that this is comparable to a local low. We do have bullish divergence all the way up to a 3 hour, but that's the lowest time frame the highest time frame that we see it up to. 3 hour bullish divergence. It's not gonna like rock your fucking world. It's good enough for a trade, most likely. good enough to kind of hold up off this, off this 10-2 support that we're kind of resting on right now. But, talking about like a full-on reversal or anything like that, I'd want to see something a little bit more significant from that perspective. I do think that it's worthwhile to mention that historical volatility percentile on our lower time frames here actually very low, and we see this kind of populated amongst all of the lower time frames. Here's your 3-hour, here's your 2-hour, and here's your hourly. Both the 2-hour and the hourly are actually trending back up to the upside once again. The 3-hour is still actually coming down, but more importantly, we see that they're all coming from the same place. So as Bitcoin approaches a major support like this and we get historical volatility percentile extremely low, that's when I want to look at my momentum oscillators to kind of give an insight into when this, where this is likely to, populate to, which side that next expansion from a volatility perspective, it's likely to go to. And in this case, I would say that it's a little bit more likely to go to the upside here. We do see actually 2-hour, this is hourly, but I think 2-hour, nope, it's not on the 2-hour, just on the hourly. Hourly Joule actually is showing a perfect buy signal right here. This is what a perfect signal actually does look like on the Joule. Now it is an hourly, so hourly isn't gonna, again, not gonna fucking rock your world. It's 3 times less than a 3-hour, so it's even less impressive. What platform do you use for your TA? Says Cryptopolis. I use TradingView, and I like it a lot. That's really all to say about it, man. I don't have any complaints. That's a weird thing about it. That's a weird thing about a charting, a charting sphere is like you don't have any real complaints until it's actually bad. But this one for the most part gets the job done. I think it's much better than Coinigia, especially if you're trading other markets. I think TradingView kind of sets the standard right now. I like it a lot more than StockCharts.com, which is what I used when I was trading traditional markets. Anyways, this would be an example if you do have access to the Joule. It's not just because there's green flash in the background. It's a setup on all of these also. It's the light blue, the pink, and the white all supported alongside of each other, bouncing off it. That's exactly what you want to see. The problem is it's only on an hourly. So how much can you really expect? Probably not much more than than maybe a couple $100 move. Which coming off an area like this, yes, we do see our next little blue box territory kind of providing the support. So it is operating off this level right now. It's not too impressive a price action, but I do think that it's probably good enough for a bounce. Then again, early this morning, I was actually going to be looking for a bounce right around here. We got rejected by the 200 simple once again. So I want to reiterate that waiting for confirmation on these sorts of trades is so fucking important, because until you actually get that confirmation, I mean, that's the difference between, right here at 10.6 and then what we got to, I mean, quite literally wicked all the way down to about 10,000 even, and kind of getting stuck right around 10.2 right now. So, $400, $600 move, that is significant. That is actual percentages that's very, very tradable, especially in this market right now. But looking at this region right now, I think that Bitcoin is just going to shoot down through this region without trying to, at the very least, a little bit of a bounce. No, I don't think so. I think that our lower time frames are a little bit extended here, and our higher time frames coming down to major macro areas as well. Of course, we got the green 55 exponential moving average coming in right around about 10.4. So I do look at this as kind of like a magnet for price action. I really want to see the daily close above. Then again, we only have about literally 1 hour and 1 minute left. So it is going to be, it is going to be a long hour to go here. But we've all seen crazier things in a $200 move. But I would say that if we could close the daily dildo above the 50 exponential moving average, I would say that would be good enough to actually carry out the bounce a little bit higher over the next few days. Basically the rest of the week, probably work our way back up to like 10.8, maybe 11,000. But for now, pressure is on to the downside, no doubt about that. I think it goes without saying that going over here to GBDC, GBDC has been a damn good insight into price action. And look at this, GBDC is essentially back down around the same levels that it was during the end of July lows, right around about 94, 9,500. And then, of course, our first major stab down into the lower 9,000s in early July as well. So if I actually put on my drawing tools, you can see that we've directly kind of taken another stab at the support trend line right around here. I wouldn't just, do I think that this is bad or good? Technically, this is a descending triangle is what we're kind of making right now. But at the end of the day, I don't really care about, the name of your formation. I only care about which way you break. I've seen every fucking pattern breakout every way that it's, proverbially not supposed to. In this case, as long as we don't see any sort of daily little closes below 12, 12, 13, 12, 15-ish region, I think, it's just kind of, it's a little bit out of the question to be looking for lower prices. However, if we do get that, if we actually do get that move, I'd be looking for a move back down here on GBDC, which is likely going to correlate with Bitcoin getting back down to, higher 8,000s actually. So this is a very precarious place because GBDC has been a great lead indicator for the past, for 2018 it was fucking phenomenal, and then for most of 2019 not all that dependable, and then the last like month of price action have been pretty damn good. What did I just miss right on over here, man? Jesus Christ, what's going on, Twitch? Hey, what's up, T-Logad? Hi, Krown. I wanted to ask how market movers play the correlation with crypto in traditional markets, risk on, and gold risk off, safe haven asset. Do they sell Bitcoin and buy gold when SPY drops, or how do they play it? Well, it's always they're always going to be calculating things in terms of their exposure, right? So you want to make sure that you maintain your exposure, in the one where, sorry, let me rephrase that. How are they? Hold on. I might be on a completely different vein of the question that you're asking, but I believe that you're asking like quite literally how do they play it? I mean, if it's quite literally just that, I'm not quite sure if it would be that question, because I think it'd be probably more. But if it's quite literally just that, I mean, it's just as simple as holding both essentially, or maybe being short one and long the other one. That's really all the hedge is. There's multiple ways of doing this though, because we live in a fucking financial world with a million goddamn derivatives. I mean, you have futures, you have fucking options, you have you have your spot, you have your different markets. So there's many ways to do that. I can't say a blanket statement on how a firm would do it. I can give you many examples on how they do it. I'm sure that they do multiple different ways of doing it. But it's going to come down to it's going to come down to a lot of things really. It's kind of a hard question to answer without more specifics, from my own end. Looking at GBDC right here, the big news to me is that we're kind of back down at that same lows, stuck around the mid to low 9,000s region, which does offer up a massive contingency to what we're looking at on spot charts, and would suggest that we do go lower. So I do want to paint a picture that I do want to paint a balanced picture here that shows that yes, we do we very very likely do actually have some downside here. Not only that, but daily Stokes on GBDC are actually having a fresh cross to the downside. I really don't like this setup. I really dislike. Or it's not that I dislike it, but here I want to be biased to the upside. I'd rather Bitcoin make it a little bit easier on us than not, especially after the last 24 hours of price action, of which I feel like I didn't do all that well. Left a lot of money on the table with that last trade. Jesus Christ, man, that one is going to haunt me for a little bit of time. But overall, looking at this and looking at GBDC, whenever you come down to like a major support and then you see those momentum oscillators start to turn back down, well, that's usually the setup that I do see for these things to actually break. You can see that the last time that we were coming into this region, the momentum oscillators were completely different posture. We were coming down from the, from this angle right on over here and starting to turn back on up. Now we have completely the opposite sort of signature right here, which really would put a little bit of a damper on the party if we actually do break this to the downside. Now, while I don't think that this actually operates like a descending triangle, it is technically in there for GBDC. So I am curious where the measure move on this would kind of apply. Again, not the best way of doing a measure move, but it actually would apply, it actually would be pointing all the way down around here towards the 860-ish region. Now, do I think that Bitcoin's going to go all the way down here? This would kind of correlate with like low 7,000s or mid 7,000s. I'm not really necessarily looking for it right now. I think that it's kind of, I think it's asking a little bit much, but I do think that it's worth and it's valid to show right now. Don't get me wrong though. I want to be very clear in what I say. I'm not bearish here just yet. I'm only bearish looking for Bitcoin to go down below really like 9,000, like the current lows that we have right here, and sustain below there and have like long-term trendy behavior below there, if and only if we start closing weeklies. Really below, technically below the red 10 simple, but I would say from a more long-term perspective below the yellow 21 exponential moving average. As long as Bitcoin's kind of riding the 21 exponential moving average to the upside, I don't really have any major issues with price action. So I do want to show a few things here as well. This is something that we spoke about a lot during like the last month or so of price action, and it appeared as if it was not going to happen, but now it's starting to look a little bit more likely. So let me first paint this picture right on over here. Looking at the weekly, we do actually see a little bit of a smidgen of bearish divergence on the weekly right here on weekly RSI high, lower high, and actually getting rejected by the exponential and getting kicked out of the bullish control zone, and Bitcoin putting in just a slightly higher high right on over here. This one also very frustrating for myself as well, because I feel like I got that one completely wrong. Looking at this price action right here, closing that last weekly dildo into the blue box territory. Hey, at the end of the day, it does happen. But that's why I also say, hey, you really want to see it close above to have the extra confidence for that one. Anyways, in this scenario right here, we have multiple things going on. We have not only that signature going on, we not only have a little bit of bearish divergence going on, which to be fair, it's not super crazy, when you see a setup like that. But more importantly, the thing that actually does kind of bug me right here, and it's been bugging me ever since we really had it, is this baby, which again, I've spoken about this a lot. So I don't mean to repeat myself too much here, but looking at the weekly, we do see that Bitcoin has a lovely history of playing off that yellow 21 exponential moving average. During its downwards moves, it loves to bounce off of it, and during the downwards moves, during the bull markets, it likes to play off of it. During the bear markets, it likes to sell off of it, right? Anyways, in 2019, since this rally started, we have not tested it once, and to kind of put this point just one step further, I would say that, I'd say it kind of not complicates itself, but makes it a little bit more valid looking at that area as an actual, Jesus Christ, come on, you motherfucker. There we go. Phone going crazy at all times. Looking at the weekly jewel, we see a very distinct setup right here where we see the light blue oscillator get into the critical zone above this marker right here where the 80 marker is, and then flash red in the background and then get a negative slope on that light blue oscillator. That has actually called all of these, all of these local highs in a general upwards market, and each and every one of those times that we actually got that signature, we come down and test the 21 exponential moving average. So you can kind of line them up right here. I'm not going to go through all of them, but you can see usually for the most part, it does, what's it called? What the fuck is going on here? Sorry, just reading some stuff out the corner of my eyes. Looking at this right on over here, you see that usually it actually tests it relatively soon, within like a couple of weeks. However, there are a few examples where it actually does take like a month or a couple months to actually test it, but all of these ones eventually do play out is my point. Anyways, we did get the same sort of signature, as of recent times. We got the light blue oscillator into this critical zone, red flashes in the background, we get a negative slope and coming back down. Now, as we kind of let the weekly resolve itself, this is where things get a little bit tricky. I would say that it would be it's going to be quite appropriate to be targeting that area, the yellow 20 exponential moving average, if we close this next weekly anywhere below the red 10-cent moving average. I do believe that is what we'd be looking at right here. We do see weekly oscillator still to the downside, even though they do look a little bit weak to the downside. We see weekly Stokes still coming down here. We see weekly RSI giving us a little bit of bearish divergence, as we said before. Weekly Jewel not telling us too much other than what we just spoke about, but all those things kind of coupled up with each other would paint a nasty picture. Here comes Bitcoin once again. These bears want to attack once again. It looks like we're going to be going the opposite direction on the on the daily, not necessarily testing the 50. Jesus Christ, man. Powerful bears, mean bears, and they want your Bitcoins right now, baby. They're accumulating that bitch. Anyways, looks like it's going to hold up for now. But overall, Bitcoin is in kind of a more weaker posturing as far as the greater picture goes. But like I said, there are, there certainly are some things pointing much, depending upon your disposition, much lower. But I would say take it one step at a time. So as a trader, during these sorts of stints of price action, where the long-term bias is still very much in play. You're supposed to have that long-term bias as a trader. Short-term, it switches around a lot. So as a short-term trading behaviors, like actually now directly talking to the traders here, this is a time to really be agnostic with direction and really actually play the lower time frames as we spoke about during the beginning of this video. Going back on over here to the 4-hour. Sorry, let me actually put back on all the moving averages right on over here. You do see a few ideas kind of emerging, out of the corner of your eye, most likely. If we see the daily close anywhere here or lower, I will consider this blue box destroyed, and we're going to head down likely to the next level. Now, the next level actually I would not necessarily say it's right here. I'd actually move it up a little bit. I do think that Bitcoin does have a short-term bounce somewhere right around this 9,900-ish region, give or take a few bucks, whether it's like 9,850 or 9,900, same sort of thing in my opinion. But looking at this right here it would be my next short-term target if this area does break. So if we get the daily closing below that region, then yeah, I'd be kind of angling my sights towards this region right here at about 9,900. Probably get a small bounce there, and then at that point in time, likely get continuation just to fill the downside of the range, as we saw on GBTC as well. So the confluences are there, but I would still take it one step at a time because front running these sorts of trades can be very, 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 very deadly. And like I said, I am keeping an eye on of course, on momentum oscillators on the lower time frames, which, like I said, are not confirmed just yet. But the second that I do see them confirmed, I would feel a lot more confident, a lot more comfortable taking, one of those bouncy bounce trades, which might net you like $500 to $600, in a relatively quick amount of time. As far as price action goes, of course, how many contracts you do, that's up to you. But at the end of the day, that's kind of where my mind's eye would be. I do think it's also appropriate to talk about this as well, the crypto fear and greed index. We are currently taking out an 11 marker, which is pretty fucking low. I mean, this is where we put in lows during 2018. Now, here's the thing. During 2018, when it was a bear market, you would see Bitcoin get a read like this, around like in the teens essentially on the crypto fear and greed index, and it would actually stay there for a while. So, you'd actually dump through those times, but you'll notice once the market switched around over here in February of 2019, all of the tests that we had down into the more fearful zone, like the very fearful zone, you can see that they were immediately rejected in a sense. We didn't spend like weeks on end, like literally in some cases months on end in the extremely fearful zone. We have a very quick stint right here, boom up, another quick stint right here, boom up, and then another low being put in, more recently, later in July. What we just saw at the 9,500-ish level. Anyways, right now we're actually lower than all of those guys. We're actually at the lowest point that we've been in quite literally, how long has this been? Almost a year now, almost a year. So this is a little bit, this is a little bit on the extreme side, to be fair. And typically speaking, when we're coming into, again, the macro market is still to the upside, to be fair. The macro market is very much to the upside. So interpreting an indicator like this in an overall macro uptrend, I would say that an extremely fearful read would align with likely looking at a potential reversal relatively soon. Now, can I be wrong on that? Yes, and that would directly conflict with what I'm saying about preps coming down to the weekly support. So that's why I really do want to keep an open mind right now, just because at the end of the day, the way to trade this is going to be the same. The way to trade it as a trader, the way to actually trade this is the same. As an investor, it's going to be as an investor, good fucking luck, baby. Good luck with that. Have fucking fun scratching your head on this one. But as a trader, can take it one step at a time, right? And in off these little pivots that we spoke about on the lower time frames, those are completely valid ways of doing it, and will keep you safe and will keep you out of the potential massive hurting trade, or sorry, massively volatile price action. So again, keeping an eye on this, I would say that coming down into this region right now, I'm not necessarily looking to like put on shorts or anything like that. I'd only take like the obvious short if we get the next obvious short. I think it's more likely that we're kind of looking at the next bounce relatively soon, rather than really like trending or continuing this guy to the downside. I think it's going to take its time, is essentially what I'm saying. Anyways, going over here to the expected moves chart with regards to historical volatility, you do see that we actually did take a formal stab down to the first to the downside of the first standard deviation right here, right around about $10,000-ish. Kind of in line with what we see on our levels as well. The essentially the edge of the blue box territory, and so far holding up off of it. But more importantly, as we spoke about yesterday, when you get a setup like this on the expected moves chart, it's essentially setting up for a bearish posture right here. This is squeezing it to the downside, and it started right in over here. This was the big tip off right here on August 12th, unfortunately, and I completely disregarded that one as well. In fact, what I should have done and what I should have known and what would have tipped me up is this right here. And again, it's going to paint a little bit more of a bearish picture, but it is warranted right now. And I'm going to take all of these babies off except for the 21 and put on all of the simple moving averages. So we're going to have the blue 30 simple, we're going to have the green 50 simple, we're going to have the yellow 21 exponential moving average actually, and the red 10 simple. The 21 is it's going to be about the same, whether it's the simple or the exponential. As you can see right here, this is, we spoke about this last night on the, on the video last night. This is a bearish posturing, to be fair. The only thing that I'm really waiting for here to actually like put the foot on the gas pedal is for the blue 30 simple moving average to get a negative slope. Now, here's the thing. Going to take its time, and more importantly, if you are a trend trader, this is what I would be looking at. This would be a little bit more. This would obviously be a little more angled to the downside. Obviously, coupled up with our momentum oscillators, we see the daily Stokes headed down, nosediving right now too, like really gaining momentum to the downside. And we do see daily RSI getting into the bearish control zone as well, and it's actually officially in there now. So we spoke about this during the morning stream, during the live stream this morning. It was kind of just testing around it. We didn't really want to see it come down in this region. Well, now it's officially in there. So if we do close a daily doodle within this region, I do think that we're going to get a little bit. We're gonna find a little bit of comfort in the bearish control zone. Let me just make sure that the mic's still going good. It has been. Just want to make sure that everything's all well and good here. Have I been recording for about 23 minutes? Yeah. If the mic's still going good, then I think that this other camera is going to be no issue at all. That's going to be super awesome, man. If I can keep on using this camera, fuck yeah, it's amazing. Anyways, yeah. So whenever I'm looking at general trend, I'll look at these moving averages here. This is like the one time where I kind of prefer simples over 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 exponentials, and you can see that we basically switched up, especially confirmed as of yesterday. That was the big news right there. And Jesus Christ, man, fucking nasty, super nasty move. Populated right after that. So I would say that if we do get an actual negative slope on the blue 30-something moon average, which you actually really can't even see back there, let me, oh, motherfucker. God damn it. I guess I got rid of it right on over here. So I can't like easily just click off the dildos, unfortunately, but you would see that the 30 simple is essentially sideways here. Maybe has a slight negative slope if I kind of highlight it. Yeah, very slight negative slope, but it's not, it's not too interesting as far as what I see right now. So again, looking at this, it would paint a little bit more of a nastier picture. Not necessarily like setting up for like a full on, trending trend, but it would probably be good enough to send us to the bottom side of this range. Again, somewhere right around about 90. I suppose, the bottom of the range right now is about 95, especially going on over here to Bit Mexico. My horizontals coming in right around 9,500 for like the big one. Or sorry, 9450 we'll call it. Again, at that point in time, they're kind of all the same area, really. Sounds racist. It's like they're all the same. No, just kidding. They're moving averages, man. They don't care except until you go to college. Anyways, yeah. So looking at all this, I do think, it looks to me like Bitcoin's in a little bit of a hard place right now, especially coupling this up with the fact that that gold's rallying. It really does make me think. Now, of course, we did get the news earlier that, and sorry, let me just get on to gold right on over here. Yeah, gold looking pretty damn healthy. By the way, gold confirmed above our major level right here. I think that this rally is about to continue up. I don't really have price targets anymore, but the big new, but we did receive a piece of news coming into the market, and I know, most of the time I talk shit about the news, of course, usually for good reason. But this actually is quite interesting. Not just from like a trading perspective. I don't really care. As far as the perspective with trading goes, you can write up any fucking story and spin it any which way. But more importantly, just as like an aside, these fucking Chinese ICO people stole 3 billion, 3 fucking billion, 3 fucking billion with a fucking B. I mean, that's a massive amount of money. that's fucking, I always wonder, like, what are these people think? Did they think that they were not going to get caught? You're literally doing an extremely illegal activity on perhaps the most transparent, the most transparent, asset on all times. What the fuck are they thinking? That's probably the biggest conspiracy. It's like, hey, what the fuck are you thinking, man? What the fuck are you doing? Anyways, yeah. So in case you're not aware, apparently some sort of Chinese ICO gathered up like 70,000 Bitcoin and about like 800,000 Ethereums. And then they basically exit or something like that. So that's totaling over quite literally $3 billion again with a B, with a fucking B. Anyways, so gold right here actually did confirm above my level, and I do actually like it. I do think that this gets extended here. Like I said, I don't have any real price targets anymore. I just have this next major kind of area of interest right here. Caught between about 1575 and about 1600, we'll call it. So I would say, I would say that generally just the path of least resistance right here is still to the upside. Still looks good on all the higher time frames. Lower time frames quite difficult, quite annoying and quite volatile. Just like Bitcoin, it reminds you just of Bitcoin, right? But if I show you this chart right here on the monthly, anyone's gonna immediately look at this one and just say, hey, looks fucking good, man. Looks fucking good. Tell me more about your magical technical analysis. I'd be looking. I'd just basically be looking towards the next major resistance, which is going to be, give or take around 1600-ish region. So longer term, that's kind of where I'm looking towards. Shorter term, though, like I said, I do think that this continues upwards and always here, but I'm not sure how much more momentum we have. It does look like daily RSI is actually quite healthy here. People are going to tell you that this is bearish divergence here. It is not bearish divergence at all whatsoever. Don't be fooled by it just yet. If we were to come back down below about 1500, then yes, we could call it bearish divergence, and we could target moves down to like 1465, 1470-ish region. But for right now, no, I don't really see it. In fact, this one actually looks pretty damn good to me. But again, lower time frames, I don't really have a strong opinion on that. To me, on lower time frames right here, I'd say, I'd be using this as a pivot right around 1510. 1510 on the lower time frames is what I'd say. But the more obvious way of doing the more the more dependable way of doing this would be if we go back below this region right and over here. Basically anywhere back below about 1500, and then yes, I'd probably be looking for that divergence to play out. Anyways, I'm reading some comments right on over here. What's up, Spagnoli? Krown, you said if we open and close below the 200 MA on a 4-hour, it signaled you to close your longs and even look for shorts. I took your advice, and as soon as we open and close a 4-hour below the 200 MA, I shorted the test of the 200. Nicely done. Why did you not take your own advice? I thought that was a perfect call. I don't believe you got it wrong. I think your bullish bias blinded you. So for myself, man, you have to understand that when I cover my positions, I'm actually not just taking them off. I'm not just like selling them back in this case. What I did is I sell a bunch of calls again. So I'm actually still making money. And for me, I bought that position well below 10,000, remember? So I was severely in the money at that point in time. But I also left a lot of money on the table because remember, I only covered about half above 11,000. The other half I covered basically where you saw. So I left a shit ton of money on the table. That's very embarrassing to me. And I do want to be transparent with that, man. I'm not a perfect trader. And I really, one of the things that's quite sombering is like I'll like I'll have a bunch of good calls in a row, and then people will get like very into it and kind of like build you up. But it's made me really realize I really can't even lean into that because at the end of the day, man, it's all game statistics. I'm gonna get some wrong, man, and that's just my trading style. So here's an example of something that's pretty damn cool though. You took what I said, and you made it your own. You made it your fucking own, and you made money off of it. I'm the person who said it. I didn't do any of that. So I didn't even, you probably did much better than me on that trade, but it just goes to show that, hey, when I'm talking and doing all this kind of stuff, I'm not doing anything other than just expressing myself. And anything that you take from it is you doing the work. So at the end of the day, man, if you do the work, you deserve the credit. You can say that it was a perfect call on my behalf, but you're the one who took action. You're the one who benefited from it. So that's all that matters. That's the equalizing factor. And so you should believe in what I'm trying to say is you should believe in yourself more, man. You can fucking do it. You can fucking do it, man. Even at, I was going to say even at my expense, not really at my expense, this market is big enough for everyone. Well, different conversation, maybe not so. But my point is that, hey, man, there's multiple ways of kind of treating that. So that's kind of more based off of my own strategy. And well, I kind of just let the chips fall where they may. And that's, off of my own biases, which yes, you are right about. Absolutely. Anyways, okay, cool. Alrighty, so what's up, Kazoki? And I see you over there, man. Hopefully, I'm saying your name right, man. But yeah, Bitcoin selling off a little bit more here. Are we not gonna bounce here? Jesus Christ, man, that would be so brutal if Bitcoin just shoots through this area as well. My fucking god. Again, if Bitcoin does take out this area, I'd be looking at the next target down to about 9,900 or sorry, about 98. What is this? 98.50? 98.50 to 9,900. So another couple $100 down. But like I said, I'd really take this one step at a time. I don't think that this is this is the time to get too greedy on these regions. Just because just based off our underlying market dynamics, essentially, just off that that fact alone, I'd rather kind of scale back my own trading behaviors and let this one play out for a little bit of time. I really don't want to be shorting myself. I really don't like to look for shorts in an overall general upwards market, which we still very much are. I'd rather be selling calls and then buying the spot underline and do it that way, if I want to have some downside exposure, which is essentially what I'm doing right now. Spagnoli says, Krown, thanks, man. I just thought it was a great play because, like you said, it was easy to manage risk. Yeah, man. I mean, that's all that makes a great play, right? I would have closed the trade if we started opening and closing above the 200 MA, and that's exactly the way to do it, man. Exactly the fucking way to do it. So once you see that hit, you put your risk on, you let the chips fall where they may, and just understand that over time those statistics are going to work out in your favor, and you see it right there. I mean, it's fucking beautiful, man. I think phenomenal trading on your behalf. Phenomenal trading. Anyways, the legend Ali says, should I short XRP USD to 15 cents? Let's go check out XRP. Actually, yeah, everyone's feeling vindicated on Ripple now. Let's go over here and check out what Mr. Ripple's nipples are doing. 26.6. And we are very likely to confirm below this 30-cent region right on over here. I don't think that the damage is done for Mr. Ripple's nipples just yet. We are getting very sultry tonight because holy fucking shit. This, to me, looks like it probably is the beginning of the real breakout. Looking at, I mean, Jesus Christ, man, historical volatility percentile is low as fuck right now. We're approaching, I mean, we basically broke the support. Momentum also does leave a little bit to be desired, but this is a bad breakdown right here, I'd say. Holy, I just want to measure this one out just out of curiosity. How big was this move? I mean, this one happened almost instantaneously. Holy shit! Oh my god! Holy shit, man, 20.5%. And that was all done in like what, 5 minutes maybe? Yeah, this was all done in about 5 minutes. Oh my God. This was done in about 15 minutes from top to bottom. All that 20, that is so, oh my God. Holy shit. Welcome to crypto, Garlic House. Welcome to fucking crypto. God damn, man, that is intense. Anyways, let me get these guys back on off. Let's see. The Night King says, Krown, are you seeing Bitcoin ascending triangle similar to what we did in 2018 until we break and capitulate in November, 6,000 to 3,000? No, I think that we're in a different positioning right now. That was kind of coming off of a blow off top. This one's coming off. This one's still kind of caught within that same consolidation. In 2018, we'd already resolved that blow off top to the downside. It was already kind of like said and done. It was just more of like a waiting game, right? It was a lot more easier to be bearish in 2018. After seeing that play on for months and months and months. In 2019, what we're looking at right now, I think it's just too early to call it really. People want to tell you that this thing is going to like I think someone said it was going to like 15,000 someone literally said it was going to 15,000 this week. Another person said it was going down to 7,000 this week. At the end of the day, man, we're still in a massive range here. There's nothing like crazy happening until we actually break this range. Anywhere below about 9,500, that's where I kind of decide downwards resolution, probably down to into the 8,000s. And anywhere above about 12, or even if you want to be a little bit more conservative with that, you could say like 13,000. There's my first alert right there. Jesus Christ, man, that was my breakdown alert. It's like, holy shit, if that one gets hit, nasty, man, fucking nasty, especially in the last hour of the day. God damn, man, bear's gonna attack right now. Fucking filthy, super fucking filthy. Anyways, my main point is, as always, scale back, right? As a trader, you don't want to get caught up in the motions. Crypto. Hey, what's up? Hey, what's up, man? Krown, if you go to June 2019, there are examples of candles opening and closing below the 200 MA in an uptrend. However, the trend is still continued. Yes, that did happen. No. Whoa, no. If you go to June 2019, no, that's not relevant to what we're looking at right now. June 2019 was a completely different posturing on the market. If you go back on over here, you're going to go to June of this year. So you're talking about closing below this region right over here. Well, yes, of course. We were death crossed at that point. Absolutely, 100%. I mean, that's the whole fucking point of it. That's the point where you're not supposed to follow. That's telling you that's it's kind of fucked up. It's July. No, you're saying okay. So you're saying it's June. So right here. You said that we open and close 4-hour dildos right here. No, we do not open and close any 4-hour dildos below the purple 200 exponential moving average. That is incorrect. We do close some below the white 200 simple, but we need to close them below both for it to be nullified. And we don't have that right here. We have it actually holding up above the purple 200 exponential moving average. Now, you would have been correct if it was below both. More importantly, we do see in the past actually several just one-offs closing below both, but never getting that open and close, which is much more important below both. And that's that's not really what we see right on over here. This is completely fine from that perspective. Let's see. E Dobkins. Hey, what's up, Dobkin? Since this is really the first time geopolitical tensions seem to be influencing speculation on Bitcoin, does it not stand to reason that we may be in a new dynamic that telegraphs potential moves much less reliably than in the past? So would tentacles be a less optimal way of looking at this? I would say that yes, because geopoliticals the political situation is essentially affecting the American markets. The American markets seem to be correlated with Bitcoin, as far as what we can see, although the correlation does seem to be weakening. But regardless of the fact, no matter which way that you look at that correlation, Bitcoin is still considered a risk-on asset from an investor standpoint, from like the people who actually have enough money to move markets. That's what they still think of Bitcoin. Of course, because it's still relatively young, man. You can't really expect an asset that's literally below half a billion. It's literally half a billion. Sorry, it's literally it's literally less than half a trillion for the whole crypto market cap. It's fucking nothing, man. It's literally it's a drop it's a drop of piss in the ocean. It's very small is my point. So looking at that, I would say that crypto is still very much a risk-on asset. So it's likely going to go with general markets, and general markets right now are coming under pressure. I mean, that was let's actually go check out traditional markets right now. Why not? You can see, oh, holy shit. Wait, no, sorry, we're looking at the wrong time frame. Let's go to a daily. Yeah, daily did not break the 200 exponential moving average, but this looks bad nonetheless. Coming down to this level, is not good either which way. Whether we bounce off of it or not, it doesn't look good. So while I would say that probably do get a little bit of a bounce off this coming into tomorrow, this is going to start to paint a whole much more nastier picture, especially with the weekly. I mean, the weekly is a clear rejection of the red 10 simple. If we close this weekly anywhere below the yellow 21, I'm going to be looking into the 270-ish region, like 275, 275 give or take is where I'd kind of be looking towards. It's likely going to take its time though. Again, usually when you get these downs in traditional markets, it's like that nice stair-steppy down kind of factor. But this one, actually accelerating quite quickly. Jesus Christ, man. Oh my God. I'm so glad to not be trading traditional markets after seeing something like this. Jesus Christ, man. Fuck politics at that point. And there Bitcoin goes. Bitcoin down at the 10,000-ish level. No bounce to be had. The bounces have been fucking banned at this point. Jesus Christ. I'm going to take off this next alert. It's just gonna blow your ears what's going to happen. Hey, what's up? Keep it crypto. How you doing, man? How much weight do you put in the bonds inverting? Are we going into a recession, and will it correlate with Bitcoin or gold? Well, right now gold is not correlated with traditional markets. It's kind of like the safe haven. It's a traditional way of kind of hedging yourself, so to speak. So I would say that would likely kind of lead the conversation. It likely does benefit gold. It doesn't benefit Bitcoin though. Bitcoin and gold do seem to be correlated. Then again, Bitcoin not really looking so correlated right now. As it comes down over these last couple weeks compared to gold. Gold actually looking a lot more strong right now. So I would say. So I guess your main question is though, are we going into a global recession? I think it's way too early to say something like that. That's a really serious thing to be saying. Do I think it's possible? Yes. Do I think it's appropriate to say that at this point in time? No. Where would I start to say that? I'll actually tell you exactly where. Let me get on over here to SPYs. Let's go over to the monthly for a second. If we start to close daily, or sorry, not daily, but monthly dollars below about 275, 274, I will start to get quite bearish on this, and like a long-term bearish, which is going to imply recession. Probably coming down all the way to probably like our December lows, right, of last year. But until that happens, I actually still would really back off from making those sorts of statements. Those are the sort of statements that right now, the talking heads on CNBC want to kind of populate with everyone's brains and whatnot, just to provide the fear, and that's usually a counter signal. As you can see right here on the monthly, we're actually still above all major movement averages, so it's really not like a huge deal from a monthly perspective. It's really the lower time frames that look like shit. And don't get me wrong, the lower time frames look like absolute dog shit right here. This is fucking disgusting. But as far as the macro goes, it's still kind of intact. I think it's a little bit too early to kind of condemn it at this point in time. Doesn't mean it can't change, and I'm sure that I'm sure that we're gonna get a real test here soon. Bitcoin 10,000. Oh baby, don't do it. No. Oh, 4 digits again. You bastard. You fucking bastard. Nose diving here. No bounce to be no bounce to be found. Bounces are fucking illegal, and Bitcoin straight into the goddamn gutter. Jesus Christ, man. Oh my God. What a shit show right now. All right, so it looks like we're going to head down to that next little support. I'd be looking right around here, right around about 9,900-ish region, 9,850, 9,900-ish region, and let's see if we get any sort of a reaction right there. Just show me some goddamn life, Bitcoin. Don't make me think that don't make me think that you're dead right now. Jesus. Anyways, how fucking pathetic right there. Anyways, okay, so I think that we've spoken about most of the things that I want to discount BTC. Oh, if you love Bitcoin at 10,000, you're gonna love it at. Well, I won't say it. Just trolling now. Anyways, Bitcoin finding a little bit of a footing there, but again, we're coming into the end of the day now. We got about 27 minutes until the daily dodo close. This daily dodo is not going to be salvaged. Next major support somewhere right around about 9,850 to about 9,700-ish region. Anywhere around the sign in 89 exponential moving average, I probably would be looking for a little bit of a pick me up, but again, the greater whole really starting to come in line with GBTC. Remember, GBTC did close down around GBTC actually closed down around its lows from late July and in early July, or sorry, late June, I suppose. Again, it does kind of suggest a little bit more pressure on right here. Regardless of how we close today, we're not going to be getting back above that green 50 exponential moving average. It's looking fucking nasty, man. It is looking pretty fucking nasty right there. Anyways, okay, cool. So spoke about all of that. I think it's time to get on over into checking out the other two top shitcoins. I'm curious how they're doing right now. Mrs. Litecoin first. How's she doing? Ladies first, as always. And this lady is breaking the fuck down. Holy shit. She is, I mean, we've all seen crazy things happen, but 26 minutes to go. Needs to rally up about 20%. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Not 20%, but about 12%. Looking pretty bad to me, man. This symmetrical triangle does have a measure move pointing all the way down here towards $68. Well, I don't think it's going to be a straight move down there. I don't think this is going to be a straight move to the downside. I do think that you're probably going to see a bounce actually relatively soon from, just from meeting this prior low right here. But I do think that, this is really shaping out to be kind of nasty as well. And especially on the higher time frames, more importantly, the weekly is just a fucking, oh my God. I'm struggling for words right now. The weekly is awful. And if you think the weekly is awful right here, oh, just wait till you see Mr. Buterol. Come on, baby. Click me up. There we go. Jesus fuck. Below all major moving averages. Yellow 21, clear rejection. Mr. Buterol did he hit our first target at 180? No, we got to 183, but close enough. Well, depending upon how you kind of have it right here, I would say 182. Yeah, we kind of did hit it. If this area does give way, I would be looking much lower. Technically, there is a measure move off this flag, which would be pointing somewhere down around like 130-ish region. Now, while I think that's, is it possible? Yes. I would take it one step at a time, just like Bitcoin, right? I really don't want to get too ahead of myself here. If we do actually confirm below this 182 level or 180-ish level, if you just want to make it simple, I'd be looking for a move down here towards 163, 162 region. And then if that area breaks, I'd be looking towards the next sort of liquid region, which actually is going to be more like right here, right around about 135. And like I said, technically there is a measure move pointing much lower. I don't think that actually plays out. That would be pretty damn significant. Is it possible? Yes. Is it good to have in the back of your mind's eye? Yes, it is. You should know about these things. And well, I guess we might as well just do it right here. You got a nice little flag going on, and nice flag you got there. How about we just fucking destroy you? We just wreck you all the way down to 135. Oh, I guess it is 135, not 125. I don't know where I was getting 125 from. Anyways, scrolling on back to Bitcoin. Bitcoin now getting comfortable below 10,000. Jesus Christ, Bitcoin. Oh, you're hurting me. You're fucking hurting me. I just wanted that you're still alive. Anyways, for myself, I'm pretty much positionless right now. I have a long position on, but I actually do need to, but it is covered. But I probably need to actually cover it. I'm going to need to cover it again if we spend any more time below 10,000 here. So I actually will be shutting this video off relatively soon, as I'd like to posture for that, just in case this does get a little more prolonged. But for now, just kind of wrap up Bitcoin on the lower time frames right here as we come into the daily to close with 22 minutes and 52 seconds left. It does look like we're going to be closing very much below that green 50 exponential moving average on the daily. And I would say that, and even below this blue box right here, I'd say that we very likely come down and test around 99, or sorry, I guess this is 98.50. Maybe like a short-term bounce on a lower time frame, and then ultimately probably do come down around here. Am I looking for the short myself? No, not necessarily. Like I said, as a trader, I'm taking this one step at a time. I'd rather just let kind of price action unfold itself. I don't really want to have open positions right now while Bitcoin's kind of resolving itself out. And again, the greater picture is still sideways action here. But opportunity certainly on the lower time frames. Anyways, for myself, I'm actually going to get off right now and close and start to cover myself, just because I actually do. The reason, to actually just explain, the reason why I need to cover myself is because the calls that I use to cover my long positions were the 10,000 strikes. So the second that we go below 10,000, I'm technically uncovered once again. So I do need to make sure that stays relatively okay. It's just a matter of rolling positions. Pretty damn easy to do. But I do want to make sure that it's set up. Anyways, with regards to this right here, I would say that looks fucking nasty. I'm not necessarily in a rush to be shorting shit or anything like that, just based off the crypto fear and greed index, and also just our lower time frame momentum oscillators, which again, they are on the radar right now, but they're not confirmed just yet. We still see 4-hour Stokes actually gaining momentum to the downside, believe it or not. That is intense price action right there. But hey, I'd imagine that any sort of across the upside would probably be met with a push through this blue box territory, back above about 10 to 50ish region. So as long as we're below there, it's really hard to get excited about any sort of like an intermediate bounce for Bitcoin. For now, pressure's on, and while I do think that momentum is kind of subsiding here on the lower time frames, I'm not necessarily looking to jump into a trade. Anyways, that's going to do it for today, guys. I do want to wish you well on this, what is it, Wednesday? I think I'm pretty sure it's Wednesday. It might be Thursday, but if it is Thursday, have a happy Thursday. If it's Wednesday, have a happy Wednesday. If it's whatever day in the whatever fucking world you live in, have a fucking nice day. As always, wish you well. I'll be back on tomorrow with some more video and live stream analysis. See you there, and take care.